What's up, mobile gamers? It's Johns or Gigs, and today we are going to be playing some Zero Kelvin. Now, I had somebody ask me what I think of the nerf that they made to him, so we're going to actually jump into a game and talk about it because I have not played very much Zero Kelvin at all. I played him for a little while when he first came out, and he was pretty good. He wasn't too overpowered with his gun, which I thought was good. He had a decent amount of health, so if you guys saw the nerf, he got a nerf to his health, a nerf to the health of the snowball, and then also a small nerf to the damage that the snowball does. So I wish that the nerf to the snowball maybe would have been, and there he goes talking again, he's a talker, but the snowball definitely needed the nerf. We're gonna hit our snowball out here. See if we can't get the Jabali and back up from the Kelvin. So we got a little bit of a trade there. And our teammates pulled through and got the Kelvin as well. So anyway, as I was saying, the snowball nerf I think was definitely needed. I think they should have nerfed that. We'll see what his health going down looks like, just because I did think it was quite a bit for a nerf to health. So he's definitely not as strong as before. We're gonna use our ultimate here. So I really like the changes they made. I must have got knocked out by a snowball, so we'll drop down here and get some health. Alright, anyway, so the nerf I think was pretty good. I can definitely feel the health nerf when we are fighting the opponents here, so this is actually a pretty even game, and I don't think that their Kelvin is overpowered or anything like that, so we're going to go try to help our Jabali here. So as you can see, it's still pretty easy to kill somebody if they have low health. We're going to move our snowball over here, try to get this Skatey. She might have went the other way, actually, so we'll go this way. Bring our snowball over here and get knocked back, so we will... Looks like my recall my snowball button actually got moved a little bit, so that's okay. And the Judix got him, so we'll just put our snowball down and kind of play defensively here, because I think the snowball health nerf was definitely the one they needed the most. And then I would say that the health nerf was maybe needed, maybe it didn't have to be as much. Try to get this Jabali here. I don't know, I mean, you can definitely feel the health nerf, but I think he still has plenty of health to use in his tank role. Now, I don't really play a lot of the Vanguard heroes. See if we can't get the Skatey there, I think. Yep, there, Kelvin's down here. So, as you can see, it's still pretty easy to get kills as Kelvin. Like, I'm not really trying very hard because I'm trying to talk to you guys about the nerf. But I really don't think it did too much. I think it was just enough to put him where he needed to be. Alright, so I knew we were going to die there. We could have used our ultimate to probably counter his, but I wanted to save it so that we can use it to get more than one kill. I like to save my ultimates. I actually sometimes even forget to use them, just because most characters are strong enough you don't need the ultimate every time. Now, I like to play defensively with the snowball, so you can definitely see that you are still able to do that. And we died to the other Kelvin there because he had full health and we did not. But the nerf is definitely noticeable. I think it definitely brings him in line. He's not as overpowered as he was. I think the main problem you would see is that, sure, the snowball does great damage, and it still does, but the main problem you would see with Kelvin's is they would just put the snowball down, and even if you manage to get past the snowball, they would still... Alright, so we used our ultimate here. We're going to try to maybe flank around this way. We might die to the Skatey, because she has been on me the whole game. But as you can see, his ultimate's still good. The snowball still does a lot of damage. I think the most noticeable part of the nerf is going to be the fact that he has like 3,000 less health, which was really a buffer in case you got in trouble for sure. But as you can see, we still took that Skady out without even trying, so I think that the nerf, and that's another thing I'll talk about in the next game here, you need to be very strategic with Kelvin when you place his snowballs. So I think the nerf not being as much, I know a lot of people are like, oh my god, the snowball still has such crazy health, and the answer to that is most Kelvins just hit the snowball right away. So we'll actually accept this player's invite, because I don't have a lot of people I play with, because I'm going to talk to you guys about the nerf, so I'm not too worried about having a teammate here, unless he doesn't start the game here, so we'll see if we can't invite one of our friends. And I can't invite during matchmaking, which does not make any sense. All right, so see if he's gonna ready up here. There we go. So he readied up. So now we have a dual tank strategy, which is pretty good. But again, I don't play Kelvin very often. So now we have the winning team comp for pretty much any mode where we have 2 tanks and a healer. So you guys will see here in this game how overpowered he can be if the healer stays by us. So hopefully she stays next to us. And if we just all stay together, there's pretty much nobody's going to be able to do any damage to us. Even the Kazuma won't be a problem.
1, start.
So we're going to jump into this game here. And like I was talking about earlier, is most Kelvins will just take this snowball, they'll put it down, and then they'll just hit it right away. So the health nerf to the snowball for me is very noticeable because I use the snowball for defense. And it looks like our chemist is very aggressive here. So unfortunately, she kind of threw that push there. So we're going to back up and see if she'll stay with us this time. And I always forget that in the regular modes you can actually say to stay together and stuff like that. So that's how I use the snowball sometimes when I'm being offensive, but then like, so right here, I'll use this defensively. It looks like we might get kicked there. That was a pretty laggy spot in the game there. It almost kicked us and froze, but the snowball's health is definitely noticeable for Kelvins that play defensively, and the ones that are offensive where they just put their snowball down and they hit it right away. I don't think those players are going to notice the nerf as much because it doesn't do as much as you would think it does. So I'm not sure how he didn't take any damage from the snowball there. It may have just not hit him because we do have a little bit of lag here, but it looks like our team is going to stay together this time. So hopefully when we stay together we'll do a little bit better. So again, we'll use the snowball as cover, and it looks like it actually hit the Jabali, so it bounced up there. And our chemist is being far too aggressive, so that is one downside to this strategy, is if the chemist is not doing what she's supposed to, then you won't always get the use out of her that you need. So she should be behind us. There we go. Now she's going to get behind us a little bit. We use our ultimate here. I thought the Kazuma was going to drop, so I predicted that pretty well. And again, you just put the snowball down, use it as cover, and I think you'll notice that he definitely is more balanced. He's not as strong as he used to be. So we're going to grab that kill right there and back up so the Kazuma doesn't get us. So as you can see when we're playing this game, I'm using the snowball as cover for our chemist here because she's supposed to stay behind us, and that's his shield, is his snowball. And oh, we almost got some lag there. Might have. Oh, we're freezing for sure. Yep, we're probably gonna die there. So it's kind of the downside of playing with somebody with a different internet connection, but the chemist is kind of carrying us, So now that she's staying by us, you can see that we're taking the lead by about 3 kills. So this team's probably equally skilled, I would say. Using the snowball as cover to get in close to the Christina. And it looks like the Cosmo's gonna come on this side, so we'll just use it to block his shots. So again, I'm just gonna wait for him to fly and use the snowball to block his shots. And you can see the snowball still has like 4,000 health. And we'll just let her shoot it. We'll see how many it takes her to kill this. So that's almost no health, and they were still able to do a lot of damage to the snowball. We're going to... I thought we traded ults there. Looks like it must have not gone off. We'll see if we get it back here when we spawn back in. So no, it did take our ult, and our ult did not do anything. So that's unfortunate. We're still going to win the game though, I think. We'll see if this chemist will stay near us. And we did not get any kills, so we might actually lose this one. So as you can see, Zero Kelvin's definitely, the nerf is definitely noticeable if you play defensively, because he has less health and the snowball has less health, so you can't soak up damage like you used to. And you can see that they are able to destroy the snowball relatively easily if they're all shooting at it. So I don't know where the Cosmo went. And looks like, I don't know, we keep freezing here, so.
Draw.
And we got a draw. So we definitely would have lost that if we would have had one more second, because our Christina would have died in the ultimate. But as you can see, I think the passive is definitely a must-have now. Because if you look at his stats, the passive allows you to heal. So if you play defensively with Zero Kelvin, you're definitely going to need that passive. I think that passive will keep him on that top tier. I think if you don't have the passive, you need to be as aggressive as possible. So we actually just got skin here, so I'll be making a video on this Friday probably. But we'll go ahead and open it up here for this video. Captain Epic. So there's that skin. We'll go ahead and equip it and then show you guys here his stats for his stuff and his abilities. So as you can see, they did decrease his shield a lot. It's now 4,200, and the snowball has a lot less HP, and I think the damage was like 1,200 or something like that. So it's like a 2,000 nerf, or 200, sorry, nerf for about 200 on the damage for the snowball. So definitely just be throwing them out as much as possible now that he has less health. And then once you have the passive, you can play defensively. So like I have the passive, so I'll probably still be playing defensively because you get 700 healing over time. So if you are kind of, you know, pushing into enemy fire a lot and you need health, just put the snowball down. It still has enough health to protect you. And especially with the passive, you can heal a lot. So overall, I think the nerf was more of a balance change. Like I would consider it a balance change rather than a nerf. So in my opinion, that's where Zero Kelvin sits. I still think that out of all the heroes in the Vanguard class, he's second for sure. I think for certain game modes, Jabali is still better because his shield can cover teammates, whereas Zero Kelvin's more of like a solo tank. So if you want to carry as the tank, you can still do it with Kelvin. But for those team-based modes, I think Jabali's shield still blocks enough damage that you can use it for teammates. So even if your teammate is behind you and you can cover them with the shield or with his second ultimate, I still think Jabali's better for team play. But overall, I think the nerf to Zero Kelvin was definitely enough to where it'll balance him out. Now, I don't think he necessarily needed any nerf to his damage. I think that is totally fine. And now that they fixed the hitbox for his snowballs, it's still a pretty solid character all around. I don't think the nerf was too much or too little. I think the nerf was just enough. And if I were to even take anything out, maybe I wouldn't have done as much damage for the nerf. I would have nerfed his damage maybe by like 100 less, because I do think that the snowball is the only good part of his kit for dealing with faraway targets. Whereas, you know, Jabali has his shield. He can just put it up and walk towards you. Zero Kelvin, it's pretty easy to shoot around that snowball. So I definitely think the health nerf to the snowball is noticeable, but I think the passive kind of makes up for that. So for those that don't have the passive, I think the nerf is definitely going to be noticeable and you're going to probably die a lot more. But for those that have the passive that allows him to heal, the nerf is pretty much just a balance change. So it just kind of depends on that passive. Overall, I think it was a good nerf. I think the changes that they've made to him will allow him to kind of settle in the meta a little bit more. So hopefully you guys enjoyed the video. Make sure you drop a sub. We're going to have a video here for his skin coming out probably Friday is when I'll do it for you guys. So just watch out for that and have a good day. Peace out.